I'm here with Bob Allison, radio and TV legend in Detroit. Welcome, Bob, to WWJ.
I really have a face for radio.
Bob, you are one of the legends of WWJ Radio.
Well,
tell me about how many years you worked for WWJ Radio.
I worked 17 years. I started in 1950, right out of high school. I started in the broadcasting business.
So was Ask Your Neighbor your idea, or was it someone else's idea?
It was someone else's idea. There's a company out in Baltimore that created the show, and it was a very big success in Baltimore. And they told me all the things that they did with the show and what I should do, and I wasn't too impressed. But I said, well, what the heck, you know. So I came back, we went on the air, and I started doing it my way. The first ratings came out a couple of months after this thing had started, and we were number one in the market. But recipes were perhaps one of the number one things because it took time to take the recipes. We actually wrote them down. And back in then, I put out little recipe books.
Do you still have them?
Well, yeah, I have a few of them. I've got the last 10 years that we did it. I still have some of those books. It really was more like friends and neighbors sitting down around a table, having a cup of coffee and chatting.
And I also think, and I thought back then, that a lot of these women kind of wish they could talk to their husband the way they were talking to you about stuff that mattered to them.
Yeah, and that's what we would talk about, things like that, and get different comments from other women who had solved those problems with their guys. But I've always had a good voice, and I was always an actor, you know, a performer. I was either a musician or on stage acting, and radio was the ultimate of that field. You were one with everybody, and everybody felt like they knew me. As a matter of fact, one of the comments I used to get when I would meet somebody off the air, they'd say, "My gosh, you sound exactly like you do on the radio." And I said there's a couple of reasons for that. One, I like the way I sound and I don't want to change it. Two, I don't mug the mic. And I used to have the mic used to be about a foot away, 10 to 12 inches away. And I could project. In other words, then I could speak my full voice. And that's why I sounded the same off the air as I did on the air. One of my favorite lines is, somebody says, "What are you going to do when you retire?" And I said, "I don't know. I never worked." and I don't work. I do what I want to do, which is perform. And radio is a great vehicle for that. And that's the way it was here at WWJ. I think that's what they liked about me when they first talked to me about coming here, that I was, you know, somebody who liked radio. And I did, and I still do. One of the things that they liked about me was I could say WWJ, and it sounded like it came out smooth, rather than, because it's very hard to say. An awful lot of people say W. You'll hear WWs all the time, or other versions that are even more ridiculous. And they just thought I was wonderful because WWJ, you know, it just came right out. I liked it. It was the first radio station. That's why I said it's nice to work for Radio 1.
Yeah. That was perfect, absolutely perfect.
Well, I am a performer.